Good morning, friends. Hey, how are you? Tanj here, peak performance specialist, really ready to be of service to you through our Mindset Mastery Monday. Today is Monday, the 13th of April. It's where I come on to Facebook and Instagram Live to provide free peak performance coaching, to lend an unbiased ear, to just hear you and understand where you're currently coming from and share some tips and tools and insights. Good morning, Sean. G'day, Diane, and g'day, Property Buyers Academy. Anita, great to have you here. It's where I just provide free peak performance coaching, giving you a raft to rise resilient in times of change and challenge, to support you with content, to provide A's to your Q's. Greg, I was waiting for you, my friend. Hey, Eps, good morning, beautiful. How are you? Just if you're not driving, type in one word to describe how you are feeling this morning. Happy Easter. It's Easter Monday. I hope you had a beautiful day with those that you loved yesterday. Good morning, Jacinta, Calmstar. Great to have you here. Okay, so today is an open mic Monday, and that's where I just provide live coaching. If there's any challenge, issue, concern, gribble, gripe, I don't know what a gribble is, that you need a hand with, I am here for you. Relaxed is Sean, optimistic is Calmstar. Good morning to you, also Property Buyers Academy. How are you feeling this morning, Greg? Jamie, g'day, great to have you here. So I'm feeling really, really inspired. I had a beautiful weekend. I had an amazing week last week. Melissa Turner. Oh, wow. Talk about creativity off the charts. Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Melissa. I'm feeling really inspired. I've had some really beautiful intuitive insights for myself and my life, starting as of last Wednesday. And so I'm going to be sharing some evolution and changes that are going to be coming to my business and my work in the very near future. But I'm super excited just to be able to be of service to way more people and provide a lot of online content that's really going to elevate our state. And so I can't wait to share that. I'm also feeling really inspired because I launched a creative project for self-isolation called, hey, Tony, great to have you here, Make a Mandala. And a mandala is just a circle shape, and it's a Sanskrit word, mandala, for circle. And I just cast an invitation for people just to use stuff that they have at home or in their garden. And my Facebook feed and Insta feed was bombarded, and my texts were bombarded with the most divine creations. So especially two from Melissa, one from Greg. It was just completely gorgeous. So I just feel full of creativity. Now, please have a think about last night's session said 8:30 our time was double booked. Last night's session said 8:30. I don't know why that is happening. Facebook are using their new live video platform, so that might, because I definitely had 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time typed in, so that might have something to do with it. Now, today is an open mic Monday. That means I am fully here for you, no agenda other than to be of service and answer any questions that I can for you. Why would that be worthwhile? Well, I have 3 decades of training under my belt to really help individuals and businesses grow. I'm an NLP master practitioner and trainer, so I'm really trained to listen for the unconscious sabotaging strategies that run your life, and I can just illuminate them and show them to you and reveal them to you so you have awareness, because when you have awareness, you have choice, and when you have choice, you can choose where you put your focus and energy. Diane says, a bit rough this morning. I had 2 grandies over last night, looking forward to housework and music to center myself. I can't wait to get into mandala. Yes, Diane, I'm waiting for yours, my love. Hey, Tass, great to have you here. Hi. So I'd love you to think about what is a current issue, challenge, problem, fear, concern, worry that you have, the thing that you feel is blocking you the most. And I don't care what it is, and I invite you to be really vulnerable and just share it on this platform, and I will provide my best A to your Q. Two that I had sent in via Instagram last night were these. Number one, getting back to the empowered, unstoppable version of myself instead of feeling insecure and introvert. So we've got a friend here that wrote to me on Instagram. They know that they're just not themselves. And I can agree. I saw them a couple of times last week. The sparkle has gone from their eye. Their face looks sad and worried, and their energy is flat. Usually this individual is full of vibrance. So it's a very common thing right now because we do collectively have high levels of concern and worry and anxiety and fear. So here is my feedback for this beautiful individual. So the question is, how do I get back to the empowered, unstoppable version of myself instead of feeling insecure and introvert? Typically, we're in two places. We are empowered and we are disempowered. It's pretty simple. Said in another way, we are in love and have high levels of faith, whatever your faith is. And and it could be religion, but it could just be faith in yourself or something greater. Or we're in fear of uncertainty, fear of the unknown. Most of us are in this disempowered state. 98% of humanity are in a space of high stress, disempowered, and stuckness, which is why I do what I do. Typically, what has us go from empowered to disempowered is something. Something happens in our life, a situation, an occurrence, something that just completely knocks us off our socks. It could be something personal, it could be professional, it could be to do with your health, it could be something around money, a loss of a job, you have to close down your business, a breakup of a relationship, you put a creative project out in the world and it's not received in the way you intended. Like it's typically also, if I share with you, there's two pathways we can be in, empowered and disempowered. When we're disempowered, we're often in upset, meaning we're in a loss of power and we're upset about something. There's three causes of upset, three things that make us upset. And if anyone on Facebook or Instagram would like to type these in, because I can't while I'm speaking, because I use my hands a lot as a European, that would be really helpful for everyone. So if someone can put their hands up as a scribe for Facebook and Insta, that would be amazing. So, empowered and disempowered. What makes us disempowered is typically when something happens and we have a reaction and we get upset. Now, there are three causes for upset. If you are feeling disempowered and upset right now, I invite you to listen for those three causes. Thank you, Calm Star. Me easy. Go Guy. Guy's going to do it. Are you going to, hey Guy. So who on Facebook? So Calmstar's going to type here on Instagram, who can put their hand up to be the scriber for Facebook. And your job today is just to type in as quick as you can any lessons and blessings that you get from what I have to share. Empowered and disempowered. Oh, she's onto it. Calmstar, you're the bomb. Melissa, would you be available to do it on Facebook? Okay. When we're disempowered, three causes of upset, they are unmet expectations. You had an expectation of yourself, others, or a situation in the world, and it wasn't met. So someone said they promised you to do something and that expectation wasn't met. That's going to make you upset. Number two, withheld communication. Something's happened with a situation or someone and you haven't got your point of view or your perspective off your chest and heard. You haven't had a chance to share what it was like from your point of view. And so all of that unexpressed emotion, which is just energy in motion, gets pushed down. That perspective, that anger, that fury, that self-expression that we squash down becomes depression over time. So do you have unexpressed communication? Is there unfinished business with people in your life? And do you feel silenced and are you squishing it down? You better believe that's going to make you upset and that's going to have you disempowered. Does that make sense? So there's unmet expectation, withheld communication is number two, and number three is an interrupted intention. That means you might be going for something in your life and something outside of your control interrupts it. Right? Now, the coronavirus is a perfect example of an interrupted intention. It is something outside of our control that has interrupted our intention to trade, to do business, to get married, to, birth the way we want to birth. Like it's the impact is extraordinary. So you stack all of those things, unmet expectations, withheld communication, and interrupted intentions, and you don't transform them, you don't heal them, you don't deal with them, you don't address them, you are going to sink down a sediment of suffering. And misery loves company. If you hang out with people that have a very similar experience, you're going to activate the belief systems around that by talking about it, whinging and bitching and moaning about it. Now, we do need to unpack how we feel. Absolutely. But talking about something is like being on a roundabout. We just go around and round in circles. Does that make sense? When we talk for something, for change, it's very action orientated, which means we change our thinking, we change our behavior by changing our activity. So let's see. Oh, okay. Kate, empowered and disempowered. Yes. Unmet expectations. Oh, good. We have a couple of scribers. No, Kate, don't apologize. Can we have 2 scribers? That would be amazing. Okay. So empowered, disempowered. Let me ask you all while I have you here, what lane are you in right now, honestly? And it could change in 5 minutes. It might have been different this morning or yesterday, and it's likely to be different tomorrow. But right here, right now, can you type in empowered if you feel empowered, or disempowered if you feel disempowered, so I can get a gauge on when everyone's at, so I can reverse engineer my content to suit where you're at. If any or all of these 3 areas of upset are not dealt with, they grow and fester and will contribute to your disempowerment. A to the men, yes, you better believe it. 100 gazillion%. Misery loves company, well said. Yes. Okay, so calm starts feeling empowered. Can you be sitting on the fence? Really good question, Property Buyers Academy. Listen, you can be sitting on the fence, and what I mean by that is you will be empowered and disempowered to varying percentages, right? Like, so it's like if love and hate is a piece of string, it's the same frequency. You can be at maximum love here and incredible hatred over here, but it's the same spectrum, just different ends. So in your wheel of life, whether it's health, wealth, relationships, friends, personal development, business, spirituality, hobbies, passions, interests, whatever category of your life, you could be empowered in one category, like in your health, but really disempowered in your marriage. You could be empowered in your marriage, but disempowered in your sex life in your marriage. You can be empowered with your work, but disempowered with your finances. So yeah, I would say you could be on the fence. I like to see it as different levels of percentages. Does that make sense? That's the best way I can describe that. So to answer this question, how do you get back to the empowered, unstoppable version of yourself when you've been feeling really insecure and introvert? Hey, Brendon, great to have you here. You're going to love this conversation. Is, first of all, you have to become aware of which state you're in. You have to become aware of, oh, I'm disempowered. I have a loss of power. And typically we have a loss of power because something has happened to make us upset. And here's the second piece. We've made it mean something. So something happens to make us not meet our expectations, withhold communication, or have an intention interrupted. And what we all do as human beings, and this is one of the best lessons I ever learned back in 2005, quite a while ago, is when stuff happens, or let's say when shit happens, we as human beings don't often deal with the shit that happened. We make it mean a whole bunch of stuff. And one of the best ways I know to stay empowered is just deal with the facts and don't succumb to the negative feelings. Deal with the facts, don't succumb to the negative feelings. And what does that look like? Well, when stuff happens, when a partner cheats on you, you could make that mean never trust women or never trust men. And when you make a decision like that, my friends, you don't file that in the past where the situation happened. You file that belief in the future, and then your ego, because he and she have to be right about all the decisions we make, we go looking for evidence to be right about it. We unconsciously attract another woman or a man who is going to do the similar behaviors because at a frequency level, we have to be right about it. Make sense? It's all energy. So if something has happened to you, if you've lost your job, if you've had to close your business down, if both of you aren't having an income, like that's the facts. But what are you making it mean? Are you making it mean life is doomed? Are you making it mean you won't survive? Are you making it mean it's the end of the world? What are you making coronavirus mean? And I promise you, in NLP, as I've said many times, there's a saying that says GIGO, good in, good out, or garbage in, garbage out. That's why we must be careful what we say, because we are listening. So first of all, we have to become aware. Am I empowered or disempowered? If I'm disempowered, what happened? What's the thing that happened? And then go, what am I making it mean? And that's what you've got to get responsible for. And why do I say responsible? Responsible means when you are responsible for the story that you tell yourself, the negative dialogue, the narrative of going nowhere. When you get clear about that, you can become responsible around that, which means you have the ability to respond differently. If you are not aware of the negative self-talk that you're saying about yourself, others in the world, about coronavirus, your business, your money, your partner, your kids, homeschooling, whatever is going on, if you don't interrupt that negative downpour and become conscious of it, you won't have access to becoming empowered, because you will just be sinking down emotional quicksand without the ability to breathe and get clarity around what is really occurring. Because these times are seeing people either fall apart or rise resilient. They're either becoming victims of circumstance or they're becoming innovators of new ideas and new realities. So you must be the author, not the story. Does that make sense? Melissa writes, when shit happens, we often make it mean a whole bunch of stuff. This is what are you making it mean? So yeah, I would invite you to think about, what are you making it mean? And get straight about that. It often is our stories and our drama and chaos that we make up that creates more mess and more chaos than we need. So get back to the facts. Now, if you lost your job, if you're struggling financially, if you've had to close your business down, if he left you, she left you, if you stand on the kilos and you're 3 kilos heavier, or whatever it is, just don't make it mean anything and just go, okay, well, I have a choice. I have a choice. I can either go down to victim town or I can stay on empowerment lane. But that all sounds all nice and woo-woo, Tanj. How do I do that? Well, first of all, separate what happened with what you made it mean. Get responsible for the story. Get back to being the author, not the story. And then I want you to take a look under the hood of your subconscious mind and see what 5 benefits is your inner saboteur, your ego, or she-go for the ladies and he-go for the men, what is he and she getting out of staying in this negative suffering and the swirl and the drama and the chaos and the story? And there are 5 benefits. Get your fingers ready, Melissa. And Calmstar, yes, you do absolutely have a choice. She's written, be aware when you become disempowered, deal with the facts, be the author, not the story. Boom, shakalaka, amen. You guys are doing a ripper job. I'm definitely doing this every week. This is so helpful. Luna Karmic, thank you for tuning in, my love. Great to have your company. Okay, so when you are swirling down a sediment of suffering and in emotional quicksand, feeling like you don't have a raft and you can't breathe, here's what I want you to do. For those that have just joined, we're unpacking a question that we got from a follower, which is, how do I get back to my empowered, upbeat, unstoppable version of myself and not this insecure introvert? And so you can rewatch this video because I've rambled on already about it. But here are the 5 benefits that our ego and she-go or he-go gets out of staying in the sediment of suffering and going into analysis paralysis and not getting back to the empowerment lane. Number 1, and type these in, ladies, you're doing a great job. Number 1, yes, Guy, be the author, not the story. We get to be right. That's the first thing our ego loves. We get to be right about shitty beliefs. Diane's writing, what did I make it mean? Life-changing. Yeah, what did you make it mean? It's very easy, by the way, to do that, right? Like really easy. far out. I could go on a rant about the stuff I've made situations mean in my life. Like, here's an example. My love language, if you know the 5 languages of love, is acts of service. When my kids don't clean up after themselves, what my automatic ego, she-go thinks is they don't love me and they don't respect me. They think the fairies are going to do it, a la this fairy, and they're not respecting me. That's a bunch of meaning, but that is my reality at the time, and you should see me. I become full-blown snapdragon. I am not the loving, peace-loving mung beans Tanja. I like become this dragon lady because I've made it mean you don't love and respect me. That's bollocks. They just didn't put the dishes away. They didn't clean up after themselves. That's all that happened. And it could be little things like that or massive things like Corona Loco. Some people are making it mean it's the end of the world. We're doomed. They're never going to have a job. If someone's broken your heart, you might make it mean I'm unlovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not attractive, I'm fat, that's why they don't love me. That's bullshit. Excuse me. But it is. It's bullshit. Be the author, not the story, and create useful beliefs for yourself. Create a positive narrative, because the rest is just going to keep you stuck in victim town. I promise you. So here are the 5 benefits our he-go and she-go, our inner saboteur, gets out of dimming our light, playing small, not being responsible for getting back in empowerment lane. Number 1, as I said, we get to be right about our beliefs. We get to be right about all of our crappy opinions, judgments, and assessments of ourselves, others, and the world. Awesome. Let's sit there with a glass of wine and cognac and congratulate ourselves. Amazing. I get to be right. That was really bad acting, but anyway, you get me, right? We are addicted to being right. Our ego loves to be right because then we can be justified and then we can become righteous, and that gives us a false sense of power. The second benefit that our ego gets is we get to avoid responsibility. So we get to blame other people for our suffering. It's my ex, it's the dog, it's the kids, it's Corona Loco, it's my boss, it's my bank balance, it's the bank, it's the money lender, like it's my car, whatever. We just get to blame things outside of ourselves. And when we are not responsible and we blame and shame others, when you are pointing the finger at somebody else, there's 3 fingers pointing back called me, myself, and I. You have no access to personal power when you're not being responsible. Responsibility as a definition means you relate to yourself as able to respond. You can be someone that can have life thrown at you and you are centered, unaffected, not reacting, and just able to clearly respond in a place of conscious personal power. Oof, that's what I want for all of you. I love it. So true, says Sean. Yes, yes. We get to avoid responsibility. 100%. That's right. Oops, we get to avoid responsibility. Being right justifies our power. Guy, yes, absolutely. Well said. K for cat. Hey, K for cat. Thanks for tuning in. We're unpacking what has us empowered and disempowered, especially at times of big, unexpected, unprecedented change. Number 3, Calm Star and Melissa, get your fingers on your keyboard ready. Hey, cat. Is we get to stay safe and comfortable. And in all the decades that I've been a peak performance coach, my friends, this is number 1. That is what we do to life. Number 3, we get to stay safe and comfortable. What does that mean? We hide, we dim our light, we avoid taking risks, we avoid putting ourselves out there. Do you know why we do that? We stay safe and comfortable because we're scared of being judged, we're scared of being seen, we're scared of stuffing up, we're scared of being laughed at. Do you know why we do that? Because we believe if we are judged, if people don't like us, we'll be alone. And then we're not connected, and that is our greatest currency, is human connection. But here's my belief. When you dim your light, when you don't honor your truth, when you don't sing to the beat of your own drum, when you don't take every step in your life that is your quintessential essence because you are worried about what people think of you, you're not connected to the most important person on the planet, which is you. And I promise you this from experience, you also won't be connected to that divine energy, whether it's God, Vishnu, Krishna, Allah, Source, Universe, whatever your flavor is. When we are disconnected from the heart of who we are and not expressing ourselves truly and authentically, we are not able to be a creative conduit for miracles on the planet, for those amazing songs, for those plays, for that business, for that product, for that vaccine, for that amazing creation, because we cut ourselves off from creative consciousness. Make sense? So, staying safe and comfortable. This is where we set up camp, light a fire, kumbaya in our misery, toast marshmallows, and if you're lucky enough, you invite friends, and your friends toast marshmallows with you, and they hang out in the campfire of suffering. That is not cool. Brendon, emotions are a record of the past, and if the emotion is stored in the body, then the body literally is living in the past, and the body is the unconscious mind. Mic drop, Mr. Brendon Saraf, 100%. And if you want to deepen your awareness around that distinction, please follow one of my mentors, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He does incredible work called Mind Over Matter, how you can literally change your mind and change the matter of your body, your cellular, molecular structure. Quite extraordinary. One of the books of his that I'm studying at the moment, look at that. Greg, what do you think that's from? That is from the divine book that you bought me as a gift, which is right by my side, filling up with wonderful magic. Breaking the Habit of Being You, an amazing book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, where you can learn how to significantly change the functionality of your brain, which will absolutely give you access to epigenetics, which is changing your genetic structure, elevating your cells to become what you desire rather than positive thinking, which is often icing over a poo pie. Okay, Calm Star and Melissa, our scribe is in the house. Nice lesson, Brendon. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Calm Star says, thank you for sharing, Brendon. No marshmallows, guy. Exactly. Don't be toasting those crappy, sticky, sugary, toxic, poisonous thoughts. We have to become the master of our domain by interrupting our thoughts and stopping carving these negative belief systems. All right, yes, Dr. Joe Dispenza all the way, my friends, especially now. The fourth benefit that our she-go and he-go gets out of going down to victim town and sitting in the sediment of our stories and suffering is victim. We get to be a victim. Now, what is the true definition of the word victim? Because it can really trigger people. I'm not a victim. Well, take a look at this. The true definition of victim is someone that believes they don't have any power. Someone that believes they are at the mercy of external circumstances. Someone that believes life is happening to them rather than for them. That is a victim mentality. Someone that is actively or unconsciously, subconsciously choosing to believe that they don't have the power to innovate, pivot, morph, adjust, be ingenious, ask for help, change their reality, alter their circumstances. And let me tell you, we underestimate our ability and power in a major way. So ask yourself, are you being a victim? There's no judgment from me, just love if you choose to do the work and inquire and get responsible. Are you believing that you don't have the power to change your reality, to find a new job, to create some money or wealth, to change this relationship, to create a better life for yourself or your kids, to follow your dreams? What are you telling yourself? You and I have 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. 90% of them are exactly the same regurgitated thoughts as the day before, and 85% of them are negative. Be careful what you think and say, for you are listening. You're not a victim. You're just not being responsible. You're being the story and not the author, because you're getting one of these beliefs. And today's invitation is get straight with yourself and go, which belief am I really toasting in my kumbaya fire? And when you get straight with yourself, then you ask, okay, am I willing to be responsible? And then will you show up? And then will you be courageous and vulnerable and start acting? So you're waiting for the fifth one. Brendon, everybody has the power to change their circumstances regardless of how dark of a place you're in. Yes, and Brendon, you know that, don't you? You could share your story. You know, if one day you were felt courageous enough to share the space that you've been in and the choices you made to get yourself out of there, you're a living example of this work, my friend. So it's great to have you here. True definition of victim, someone that believes they don't have any power, believes things happen to them, not for them. Yes, they believe they are at the mercy of external circumstances. Holy moly, I am 3 in my career. Safe and comfortable? Is that what you're doing? The third one, staying safe and comfortable. Scared to take a risk. That means all of your magic and potential is laying dormant, all of your ideas, all of your self-expression. I am on fire in my life right now because I have done this work in this last week. I've literally looked fear in the face and asked myself, what if? And I'm about to fully merge into what if for myself and my life. I cannot wait. Okay, here we go. You're doing a great job, Melissa, and you're doing a great job, Comstar, being scribers. I want to hear from you as we share the 5th one. So a little summary. What are the 5 benefits that your he-go and she-go gets out of staying in the sediment of suffering? And this is an answer to the question, how do I get back to my empowered, unstoppable version of myself instead of feeling insecure and introverted? Take a look. Are you right about your crappy beliefs, opinions, judgments, and assessments? Are you listening to the stories you're telling yourself and just addicted to those? Number 1, are you being right? Number 2, are you avoiding responsibility? Are you pointing the finger and blaming others? And there's 3 fingers pointing back called me, myself, and I, which gives you no power. And what are you avoiding responsibility of? Are you avoiding responsibility of doing your tax, of cleaning your house, of returning the things that you have of others, of having that completion conversation with someone, of restoring integrity, of apologizing, of paying back that debt? Like, what are you avoiding the responsibility of? I promise you, in Corona Loco, in times of lockdown, level up by looking at where are you out of integrity in your life and restore it by completing things. Apologize, send that jumper back. Clean that garage, like restore integrity so your energy can be pristine. Number 3, being safe and comfortable. Are you scared of taking risks? Do you have this burning desire, this dream that is fueling you inside, but you're not letting it out? I feel like who's old enough to remember I Dream of Jeannie? And when the lid comes off, the pink smoke comes out and boom, ding, magic happens. That's where I feel right now for myself because I'm fully taking the lid off and looking at what is potency inside of me that I have been suppressing? And where am I limiting myself and my life and my contribution to humanity? Boom. Must do my tax, Melissa. Yes, you must do your tax, even if you go on a payment plan. But I'm telling you, all these incomplete things in your world gives your subconscious and your ego evidence that you are not powerful. You don't complete stuff. You didn't finish that book you started. You are a shoulda, coulda, woulda, gonna, done person, and you are not congruent with your word. And that is the most powerful place to be on the planet, is in alignment with your word. When you say you're going to do something and you do it and you go to bed at night and it's done, you wake up and you're in power. You're in power. Honestly, this is how I live my life every single day. I write 3 things I'm going to create for the day and I don't go to bed unless I create them, or I create a new strategy. For example, I declared that Sunday nights would be my soulful Sunday where I would have a magnesium bath and watch an empowering documentary on Gaia. And I didn't do it last night because it was Easter Sunday and I chose to do creative arty projects with my kids. But I consciously chose, and I've promised myself I'm going to do it tonight, because what I'm passionate and committed to is being my word. And if you can take anything from today's session with you to your heart and your life, it's be your word. So, do your tax, get stuff done. Love, Jeannie. Yes, that's how I feel right now. You sure are on fire. I'm so thankful. Thank you, Guy. Damn. Honestly, watch this space. Honestly, you ain't seen nothing yet. I am coming out. I'm coming out of the closet. Holy moly, I'm in 3 in my career. Okay, yeah, I read that one. Brendon, I've read that one. Absolutely. I dim my light after being bullied at work. Yeah, I was bullied all through primary school and high school. I'm actually going to do a podcast on that recently, soon, around the bullying, the impacts and benefits. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, surrounded by assholes. Be your word, Calmstay. Yes, your outcomes in life are often the lagging measures of your habits. Yes, great distinction by James Clear in his wonderful book, Atomic Habits. We think the results are what needs to change, but it's actually the processes behind the results that need to change 100 gazillion%. We wait for the goal and not the discipline in the practice. So the big countdown. Number 1, you get to be right about your crappy beliefs. Awesome. Congratulations. I don't know where the trophy or medal for that is. I looked for it for years, let me tell you. Number 2, you avoid responsibility. Blaming others when there's 3 fingers, me, myself, and I. Number 3, you stay safe and comfortable. You hang out in familiar territory you don't like, but you know it there. You know what it's like. You pull over the doona and you go back to sleep, or you set up camp and you toast marshmallows of suffering, and you invite your friends and you all have a pity party powwow. Awesome. That's what most of us do, by the way. That's the number 1 benefit. Whenever I travel around the country and the world and I do training and I ask people to do this work, that's always number 1. That's what we're doing to life and ourselves. That. Number 4, we're a victim. We relate to ourselves like the truth is we don't have the power to do anything, and we are victims of circumstance. Life is happening to us, not for us, and we have no access to inspiration, innovation, magic, ingenuity, nothing. You will just spiral down the sediment of suffering. And why do we do all of those? Why would we do that, consciously or unconsciously? The 5th benefit, you ready, Calm Star and Melissa? We seek significance. We become drama kings and drama queens. Hey, Adam, great to have you here, champ. Nick Pappas has joined. Nick, buddy, you would have loved this conversation, my friend. Please watch the record, guys, because this one is full of transformational awareness and practices to significantly elevate your state. And I would love for you to have access to that. So why, and we're answering the question that we got sent in from a follower who says, how do I get back to my empowered, unstoppable version of myself and not this insecure introvert? And I've unpacked a whole lot of distinctions around that. So the 5th benefit that your inner saboteur, your ego gets, FWOT, yes, forget what other people think, or what other people think. That's the best way to live. The 5th benefit, ready, Calm Star and Melissa doing such an amazing job being our lesson scribers, is significance. As I said before, you get to be a drama king or a drama queen. We get to feel significant. Now, what does that mean? This, for some, is the most confusing one. We are addicted to being right about our shitty beliefs and opinions about ourselves, others, and the world. We avoid responsibility where we blame others and there's 3 fingers pointing back called me, myself, and I. We are safe and comfortable, scared to take a risk and put ourselves out there for fear of being judged. We are a victim to circumstance, feeling and believing like we don't have the power to change our internal and external reality. And we create significance, meaning you are in negative patterns and you are unconsciously creating drama, chaos, mess, confusion, noise, and a big story, which is a smokescreen to cover that you feel insignificant, that you feel like you don't matter, so you unconsciously create a whole lot of shit. Does that make sense? This is a very common thing, and we all do it to varying degrees. But if you're someone who in their life has had a lot of negativity and drama happen, then I want you to just try on in the fitting room of life that you are the creator of your reality. And even though the faces and places and experiences might change, there is one common denominator, the one coat hanger in the fitting room, and it's you. Hanging your potential, because you are not being conscious of being a creator. You're giving your power away and believing that you can't do anything and you're not worthy. Now, here's what else I know. One thing that you and I share is a core belief that we're not good enough, and it will be to varying degrees. Some of us, it'll be just a 4%, and some are like 100% believe they're not good enough. And along the scale of belief, you will have different patterns and addictions and behaviors. Over here, you're suicidal. Over here, you're aware and you go, I'm human, and anywhere in between. You could be a shopaholic, a sexaholic, a chocoholic, a spendaholic, addicted to drama, because you just have to have a core belief that because you're not worthy, you need to create a whole bunch of noise. That's really a busy and unfulfilling place to live. So I invite you to take a look. Which one's going on for you? Our beautiful friend that wrote into me saying, Tanja, how can I get back to the empowered, unstoppable version of myself? Because right now I'm really insecure and introvert, and it's not who I am. So which one are you at the moment? This is where we get straight with ourselves and we take responsibility, which means that we are therefore able to respond, which means when you're able to respond, you elevate your consciousness, and your consciousness now is aware that you're either empowered or disempowered. You're aware of the 3 reasons you're upset, as I unpacked before. You're aware of one of the 5 benefits. By the way, we do all of them, but you'll have one that's your Achilles heel. You'll have one that'll be your ball and chain that is clinging you to the kitchen sink of crap. That's right, the kitchen sink of crap. That's an official place. Which one? Are you 1, being right about your crappy beliefs, your opinions, judgments, assessments of yourself, others, and the world? Are you number 2, avoiding responsibility and really out of integrity in many areas in your life, which gives you a reason to be disempowered? Are you playing safe and comfortable, scared to take a risk, scared to be seen because you're worried about what people will think of you if you get it right? Are you stuck in perfectionism and procrastination? Yet inside of you are all of these hopes and dreams and potent desires waiting to be expressed. You could have the cure for cancer, metaphorically speaking, in your community, and you're just sitting on it. Are you being a victim, believing that you don't have the power? You don't have the power. There's 1 in 14 trillion chance of you and I being born. Like, we are miracles on earth, but no, we don't have the power to change our reality. Are we kidding ourselves? Honestly, if there's anything that's going to fire me up, is that we are asleep. We forget that we are creators of our reality, but we're not going to create anything unless we master our domain of our mind. Diane, you can own your destiny, transform and follow through on your beliefs. Get great people around you being aware of you. Go for it. Oh, beautiful. Number 3 is my Achilles heel. Thank you, Calmstar. We all believe we aren't good enough, although to varying degrees. I've never met a person that doesn't have that belief, but I have had the privilege to work with people from here to here and everywhere in between. And, I can oscillate myself. And I'm never over here, but, I navigate across the line. And are you just creating a whole bunch of drama for yourselves, and it just gives you permission to just not get on with your life? So to my friend that asked this question, I ask you to get aware. You're not on the path of empowerment. You are headed down to victim town. Have a look at what are the reasons you're upset. Have you got an unmet expectation? Is there something you're not communicating, or are you stuck in the intention of living your life being interrupted by coronavirus? And is that giving you a great reason to sink down the sediment of suffering? And what are the 5 benefits that your Shigo is getting out of you staying there? And are you willing? Are you willing to be responsible for getting straight with yourself and owning and going, yeah, I'm being significant, or yeah, I'm avoiding responsibility, or gosh, I really need to need to have a completion conversation with my ex and get back into power and take responsibility for my mistakes. 2 of the greatest words you can say right now are, I'm sorry. I believe that Corona Loco is giving us an opportunity to elevate our consciousness if we choose to see it that way. If you choose to see it as the end of the world, good luck feeling great when you wake up. So thanks to Brendon. Thanks to Brendon. Good on you, Sean. You also, Brendon. Brendon, hope everyone has an amazing day. What a great session. Number 3 is my Achilles heel. Thank you, Tanja. So that I have another question, but I'm going to stop it there because it is 8:43. I was on a rant, on a flow. Happy Easter, Akshay. Just type in for me, those that are online. What did you get? What did you hear for yourself before we wrap up? Hey, Nick Pappas, agree totally. Mate, Nick, if you have time, I really invite you to listen to the record of this, which will be online really soon, because there's a lot of really great distinctions in here that I think you're going to dig and really resonate with. What did you get for yourselves, my friends? What was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest lesson? Thank you, Sean. It was an incredible session. I appreciate it. What did you get for yourself. As always, I will be back on Friday, this Friday, for Rapid Fire Friday. That's where I reflect on all the one-on-one coaching themes for the week, the major lessons and blessings, and I just pepper it your way so you can get access to free peak performance coaching so you can elevate your state both personally and professionally. Happy for people to reach out to me if needed. Good on you, Brendon. I have so much work to do. K for cat. Start on one thing, my love. What was the one thing you could start on? And just remember, you and I and everyone else, we are a perfectly imperfect, consistent work in progress. The key to happiness is progress. As long as you progress. And a little tip for Kat and all of us, don't overpromise and underdeliver. Don't take the lessons from this and go, oh my God, I'm going to set the world on fire and do 10 things today. Do one. Master the day. And then the next day and the next day. And I promise you, your subconscious mind will see some evolution and that'll give you access to power. You're welcome. So many light bulb moments. The main is number 3, scared of being alone. Yeah, I hear you. Tass, you're welcome too. Thanks for the direction. You're very welcome. Kate, great to have you here. All right. So tune in, please, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Rapid Fire Friday, this Friday coming up. And if you have a particular challenge, issue, or concern that you didn't really want to share publicly, but you'd love a raft or some support, then DM me or ask your question and I will answer it anonymously. I'll make sure I won't say your name or where you're from. And to wrap up, as always, to honor the words of the late, great Maya Angelou, remember, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Thanks for making me feel like I'm living my purpose out loud by tuning in and allowing me to share some lessons I've gathered along the path of evolution myself, and I just share them. I'm no guru, but GURU is what we each are. So own your mastery, own your wisdom, own your truth, and trust your gut, for he and she never lies. Follow your intuition always, my friends. What about Wisdom Wednesday? I like it, Brendon. Wisdom Wednesday. Have to get my silver beard for that one. I've got silver hair, which I sprayed with a can this morning. True story. Wisdom Wednesday, I like it. Theo, g'day Theo. Thanks for tuning in. We are wrapping up, but you can watch the record on my page, which will be there very, very soon. Guys, if there's any questions or content that you want, please let me know. I'd love to be of service and help out. And if I don't have any answers that I can share, then I will get a resource or get someone that can help. So big love to Calmstar and Melissa on Facebook and Instagram for being our scribers. Can we give some emojis and jazz hands and love for those ladies that took the time to scribe so we can, to take the learnings deeper. Also, if you don't currently follow me, as in not follow me, but, connect with me, please do on Instagram. My handle is the Tanj. I'm here every week. I'm here every Thursday. Now I'm here every Monday and Friday, free peak performance coaching, sharing insights, tools, tips, resources, and distinctions. Help you get access to fulfilling your potential now. And if you want to receive one email once a week with a podcast or a video of Mindset Mastery Monday and Rapid Fire Friday, just let me know by DMing me and we'll add you to our email tribe. I promise there's no free set of steak knives or upsell or jackets with shiny gold watches. It's just free stuff once a week to give you a hand to rise resilient in these times of crazy change and challenge. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. May you remember that you are blessed. The fact that you even woke up this morning, the rest is a bonus. Go be a great human being. Reach out to me if I can be of help. Thank you for everyone that wrote your comments and messages and shared the love. I love you. See you Friday.